Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at glycemic index, which is measuring how quickly glucose enters our blood. So the GI comes about as a result of the hydrolysis of carbohydrates. When carbohydrates are released into the bloodstream of the body, we refer to them as blood sugar. This gives an indication of the amount of glucose present in the blood. Carbohydrate-containing foods which have starch or glycogen in them, when they're broken down, are rated according to their glycemic index. This ranks foods according to their effect of blood sugar over time. The glycemic index of a food essentially tells us how quickly the sugar is being released into the blood, which means it measures the rate of hydrolysis of carbohydrates in the blood, how quickly they're broken down by the enzymes. GI rates foods as relative to pure glucose. So if something's given a GI value as being high GI, low GI, or medium GI, it is against glucose which is given a score of 100 or 100%. Low GI foods will release their energy slowly, whereas high GI foods will release the energy quickly. The main reason for varying rates of hydrolysis is, of course, the type of starch that is present in the food and how easy it is to digest. This means that processing can have a rate on the blood sugar levels as well. Foods that contain white flour have had the husks of the seeds removed, which means that it's increased the surface area, so hydrolysis will be faster. Also, if we do things like have whole grain foods, which we're told is more healthy for us, this is essentially because the starch molecules are now still encased in cellulose husks, which we can't break down readily. So this means it slows the rate of hydrolysis until that husk is broken and the starch is released to be hydrolyzed. In the case of fruit sugars, while they are very sweet and contain a lot of sugar, we're told that they're lower GI because it is fructose sugar that is present in fruits, and this needs to be converted into glucose in the liver before it counts towards our blood sugar level. So when we're talking amylose and amylopectin, these also give a difference in the way that they're processed in the body, therefore the glycemic index. Because amylose are tightly packed linear polymers with little branching, this means that this tight helical arrangement makes it less water soluble, therefore less able to be reached by the enzymes, lowering its rate of hydrolysis. Amylopectin, on the other hand, are highly branched, which makes them more soluble in water and gives increased surface area access for the enzymes to be able to hydrolyze the glycosidic links. Since amylopectin is more rapidly hydrolyzed than amylose, foods with a greater proportion of amylopectin will have a higher GI. They will give more glucose into the body faster because it moves into our bloodstream. Most plant-based starches contain about 20 to 25% amylose and 75 to 80% amylopectin, the more easily digestible form. So in general, starches from grains such as wheat and rice have higher amylose content than starches from tubers and fruit. If we have a look at how this affects our GI in the blood, we can get a comparison of how these different foods will act. Low GI foods will have slow hydrolysis and prolonged digestion. That means that we get a slow and steady rise in blood sugar, as we see on the dark blue line here. They are slowly releasing the glucose into the blood, and then it tapers off slowly as well. When we have high GI foods, such as potato, white bread, lollies, ready sources of glucose, the glucose levels spike quickly and then will fall quickly because we've released the majority of the glucose into the blood and then it falls rapidly. With low GI foods, because we have a steady increase, this is released more slowly because we're still digesting as we go and then it tapers off. So this is what we talk about when we talk about high GI and low GI foods being sustained or instant forms of energy. The GI of carbohydrates and foods is only one consideration when we consider a good diet. Low GI foods such as fruit and vegetables also tend to contain a large number of macro and micronutrients, antioxidants such as vitamin C, and of course have a large amount of cellulose in them, being plant-based, that are good for our health as well. The GI level of foods need to be matched to the activity. Okay, so if you're looking at doing prolonged endurance exercise, then you want lower GI foods that will give a long, sustained supply of energy. Whereas if you're looking to do high intensity of energy exercise, then high GI foods before starting that high intensity can be good. Overall, essentially, a good diet needs to include a variety of foods which provide all the macro and micronutrients along with a range of carbohydrates of different GI values to maintain health. Okay, that's it on GI, and I'll see you in class.